talk about logarithm transformations. So we have the same numbers doing the same things. A is a multiplier in front of the logarithm. When A is greater than 1, ignore if it's negative. Greater than 1, it stretches vertically. From 0 to 1, so a fraction, it's going to compress it vertically. And if that multiplier in front is negative, then it's going to reflect it over the x-axis. So putting a negative in front is actually turning a logarithm with a base bigger than 1 into a logarithm with a base smaller than 1 by what we just saw, right? It'll just flip that over the x-axis. H is what moves us left or right. So if we have an x plus h, it's moving left, and if it's an x minus h, it's moving to the right. So with that in mind, our asymptote is going to be based on that number, since our asymptote is normally at x equals 0. So h is going to change where the asymptote is, but don't forget that it's the opposite direction. K, if we have a plus k at the end, it's going to move up. If it's a minus k at the end, it moves down. And something I didn't talk about before, I think we've mentioned it previously, but if the x is negative in here, that's actually going to reflect our graph over the y-axis. Okay, let's go ahead and do a couple of examples. So first one here, let's go ahead and graph log base 2 of x. So we did that one earlier. That would be a point at 1, 0 and a point at 2, 1. And then we've got our asymptote here and our graph going through here. I'm just going to kind of sketch this in here so we sort of know what it looks like. Maybe I'd rather use a highlighter, but sometimes turning the highlighter on makes things not work well. So I'm going to go ahead and go with just the points. We know it's going to connect like this, right? So when we move it, let's go ahead and make a list of what is going to change. So we'll have right, nope, right, left. I started putting right and it's wrong. So it's actually going to be left 3 because it's a plus 3. And it's going to be down 1. And let's go ahead and do the asymptote. So instead of it x equals 0, it'll be x equals a negative 3 because it's moving left 3. And then we are supposed to name the domain, range, all that. So let's go ahead and move our asymptote so we can kind of see what's happening. Oh, that's not what I wanted to move. I wanted to move this part right there instead. So the asymptote is moving. And the points that I had at 1, 0 is going to be at negative 2, 0. And the point we had at 2, 1 is going to move to negative 1, 1. The whole graph will be to this side. So the domain is going to be from negative 3 to infinity. The range, of course, just continues to be from negative infinity to infinity. Because even though if you use a graphing calculator, it looks like it's stopping here, it doesn't. It just goes closer and closer to the asymptote, just like we know asymptotes do. See if I can get my highlighter to work. It's being cooperative today. Other than that, is a really big highlighter. So there's that graph. So this one would be just moved over, left 3 and down 1. Did I forget to do the down 1? I totally forgot to do the down 1. How did I do that? So let me see if I can grab this whole thing. I have an advantage. Just going to move that whole thing down 1. I was so worried about the asymptote being moved to left 3 that I forgot to move it down 1. So left 3, down 1. Okay, next question. We're going to graph our basic logarithm again. We already had that here, so let me just grab it and copy it. That'll be easier. So Control C and then copy that here. Put it where it goes. Oh, that came into pieces. Oh, that's right. So here's our same graph. All right, let's look at our transformation. First thing, I feel like we're used to having that k at the end. Obviously, it doesn't have to be, but just because we're used to it. So let's rewrite this as log 2 negative x plus 1. So I'm just moving that 1 to the other side. So that's k. And then this is going to reflect over the y-axis. All right. So we're going to state domain, range, asymptote. Let's go ahead and sketch this first. So we have our up 1 for k. So that means these points are going to move up 1. So the one at 0, 1 will move up to 1, 1, and the one at 2, 1 will move up to 2, 2. We still have our asymptote right here. And the other thing we just need to worry about is the reflection. So the reflection over the y-axis is going to take that point and put it there, and that point and put it there. Our final answer is going to be this graph right there. I missed my point, but something to that effect, I think. So it has moved up 1 and reflected over the y-axis. Quick details here. We have our asymptote at x equals 0. We have our domain from, well, that's interesting. Domain is from negative infinity to 0 this time. And the range, bottom to top, negative infinity to infinity. Ta-da! That's it for those notes. I will go figure out what problems I want you to do.